Ahoy ahoy everybody, and welcome to my video blog for London Film and Comic Con 2013. It is Sunday afternoon. Andy Murray's just won Wimbledon and I'm sitting in the sun in my garden to tell you about my weekend. Saturday, was a flying visit up to Earl's Court. Initially 5 people I wanted to meet, one of them cancelled, one of them changed today, so it was only 3 people. First up was Jean Marsh. Jean's been in lots of things. She co-created Upstairs Downstairs. She is officially a Doctor Who companion, even though it was only in one serial. She played Sarah Kingdom. She also appeared in Doctor Who in Battlefield, Sylvester McCoy era. She was in Willow, she's in Return to Oz, she's been lots and lots of things. She was married to John Pertwee. She's Jean Marsh. Very nice lady. She's 79, but still had a little joke. She said how she liked the photo, then realised that her hair was very similar now to how it was then, and said, "Oh God, how old-fashioned!" and started really messing her hair up, which made everybody laugh. Not as messed up as mine now is. Like it was really stylised anyway. Anyway, that's beside the point. But yeah, very friendly. This photo she signed for me. And this is me with her. Then next was Joe Dempsey. He was the one person I was desperate to meet yesterday, primarily because he was in The Fades, which was a fantastic series. Why it never got a second series, don't know, which is what we discussed with, which is what I discussed with him. He played the main baddie, for want of a better phrase, in it. He's also in Game of Thrones. He's done a Who. He's in. He was in Skins. Really good actor, really talented. Probably going to be quite a big name in the future. Really nice guy, very chatty. This is the photo he signed for me. And this is me with him. And then finally, if you can hear trumpety sound, that's not me. I haven't got terrible wind, that's a ship. Because for those of you who don't know, the sea is about a couple of hundred yards that way. Yes, where was I? So, third up was another J, Jennifer Calvert. Jennifer is possibly best known for being in a children's ITV series in the early 90s called Spats, which was a comedy set in a burger bar. She was also done a Red Dwarf. She was in Stargate. Nice lady. I'm pleased to be there. Happy to meet you. Got a big smile on her face all the time. Had a little chat about Spats. I said it was a big part of my youth. She said it was a big part of hers as well. Didn't have a great selection of photos. They only seem to be, I presume they're from Stargate. But this is the one she signed for me. And this is me with her. And then I came home and watched the lovely Sabine Lisicki unfortunately bottle Wimbledon. Never mind, better luck next year, Sabine. Got up early this morning, drove back to London, made the stupid mistake of forgetting that the car parks don't open to 8 on a Sunday, so I got there at 7:20, then had to go and find somewhere to park up, which luckily I knew of a McDonald's nearby, where there was car parking, so I went and had breakfast, but it meant I could have had another hour in bed. Still, never mind. Got in nice and early, got very low virtual tickets for everybody. As I suspected, it was a lot quieter today than it was yesterday, which is why I'd left all the weekend guests to today. I had photo shoots all the way up or rather my last photo shoot was at 20 to 3, so I knew I'd be there a good few hours, so I wasn't racing around to meet everybody. But eventually the first person I met was Catherine Stewart. She's best known as Jenny in Doctor Who. She was also in Stella, the Welsh comedy written by Ruth Jones on Sky. Very lovely lady, very pretty. Spoke about how pleased I was that she hadn't been killed off. Was discussing with a guy before me. The comment she's writing on most people's autographs. She gets introduced in the series as the wife, in the phrase, I might be slightly misquoting here, but I'm a subterranean prehistoric lizard and this is the wife. Those of you who watch Who will understand, those of you who don't, doesn't really matter anyway, but that's why she's written the wife on the autograph, and this is it. And this is me with her. Next was Clive Russell. Clive's one of these actors who's been in lots and lots and lots of things. He's in Series 3 of Game of Thrones, which I haven't seen yet. He was in Ripper Street. He's in Sherlock Holmes films, Guy Ritchie ones. He's been in Merlin. He's just been in so many things. I spoke to him about a series he did a few years ago called Happiness, which was written by Paul Whitehouse of Fast Show and Harry Enfield fame. It also starred Johnny Vegas and various other people. Really good series. I have both series on DVD. He said I was the first person who spoke to him about it, and we had a little chat about how it was going to have a third series, but it never happened, and it was a shame. Really nice guy. This is a photo he signed for me. As you can see, he had a special yellow paint pen he was doing these ones in. He's added his character name from Game of Thrones. This is me with him. Next was Peter Dinklage. If you don't watch Game of Thrones, you might not know who he is, although he has done lots of films. He's an actor of restricted growth, shall we put it. But he's a very talented actor. If you watch Game of Thrones, you know exactly who he is. He's Tyrone Lannister. He's a big guest. He had signs outside his booth all morning saying he has no personalisations. But when I went to see him, he was just coming back from his photo shoot. And as we got in, they said that he was personalising for the time being, which was good. Just before he came in, his security guard, stroke managery type bloke, just made a little announcement that because he'd signed so many autographs already, he was starting to get a bit cramp in the hand. So rather than, because he wanted to make sure everybody got the best autograph possible, he wouldn't be shaking hands, which obviously is fair enough. But when you see his autograph in a minute, it will make you laugh, or I hope it will make you laugh, because it's not the most complicated signature in the world. He was a nice guy. He was racing through them, and if you didn't speak to him, he wouldn't speak to you. But I stopped and said hello to him and asked how he was, apart from a cramped hand, which made him smile, and he said he was fine. And because I showed an interest, shall we say, he stopped what he was doing and actually went back and wrote cheers on my autograph, which I thought was nice. But this is the autograph he signed for me. It was no post photos. Could have taken photos from a queue up to a certain point, but because when I went in we were waiting for him to come back from his shoot, I was already past that point, so I couldn't take any photos. But I have got a photo shoot of sorts with him today, which you will see a bit later on. Next, after Peter Dinklage, I met Norman Reedus, who plays Daryl Dixon in Walking Dead. Love this series, Walking Dead. Had no idea how much of a heartthrob Norman is. The ladies love him, including, I've just found out, my own mother. Don't get why personally, but that's because I'm a bloke. But he was a really nice guy, had lots of time for everybody, collecting all the gifts that everybody gave him, any pictures or anything he was pinning up on the wall of his autograph booth. Every girl got a hug and a kiss, every guy got a handshake, every guy got a hug if he wanted one. He only negative I will say about him is that he's a sunglasses indoors type guy, which I don't really understand. But otherwise, can't fault him, really nice. Managed to grab a couple of shots from the queue of him, and these are those. And this is the autograph he signed for me. Next up was Peter Purvis. Most people in this country should know who he is. He was an actor and he was Stephen in Doctor Who. Then he went on to be presenter of Blue Peter for God knows many years. Then Kickstart and Crufts, and he's guested on The Office even. He's Peter Purvis. He was exactly how you would expect him to be. I was pleased to meet him. He was one of the few Doctor Who companions who I hadn't met. In fact, I think now I've met him, of those who are still alive, I think, if memory serves me correctly, it was only Maureen O'Brien who I haven't met. So fingers crossed, she might do something soon. But I think I've met every other living companion, and a couple who have sadly passed on. This is me with Peter. And this is the photo he signed for me. Next was Sarah Rain Callies, another Walking Deader. She plays Laurie in this show. Again, it was no photos no post photos, but I grabbed some whilst I was waiting for her. Again, very nice, very appreciative when I told her how much I loved the show. These are the photos I grabbed of her. And this is one she signed for me. Next was one of my all-time favourite actresses. I met her back at Collectomania Milton Keynes last year when I got 5 photos signed from her, but I couldn't miss meeting her again. That's Lena Headey. She's in Game of Thrones, she's in Dread, she was Sarah Connor in the Terminator TV series, she did Brothers Grimm, she was in Band of Gold years ago. She's been lots and lots of things. I've been a big fan of her since 1995. If you want to hear all this, just watch my video from Collectomania 18, 19, whatever it was last year. She got mentioned, or reminded her of meeting her at Milton Keynes, and now I've been a fan so long. She said, oh yes, for hedonistic years. And commented on how much warmer it was than at Milton Keynes. No photo, well, I could have grabbed a photo from the queue, but as you'll see, I had again a sort of photo shoot with her later. This will all become clear. But I got her to sign a Game of Thrones photo for me, and this is it. Next was possibly the most famous name there. Possibly David Hasselhoff will beat him, but I refuse to pay £30 for David Hasselhoff. We won't go into that. But the guy who I did meet was Danny Glover, probably best known for playing Sergeant Myrtle in the Lethal Weapon films. He's also in the colour purple. He's in Predator 2, in lots and lots and lots of things. No photos at all, not even from the queue, from a distance. I was trying to take one of Sarah Wayne Callie's from a distance earlier on in the day, not knowing that I'd be able to grab one from her queue, and somebody ran over thinking I was taking one of Danny Glover and got me to stop. But wasn't the most chatty person, wasn't unpleasant at all. Lots of people were getting him to write "I'm too old for this shit" on their photos or what have you. Obviously his famous line he repeats in all the Lethal Weapons. What made me laugh was the guy in front of me, who was a foreign gentleman, had found the quote and had it up on his phone to make sure that Danny Glover got it right. Somehow I don't think he'd forget that line, but anyway. Yeah, as I say, he wasn't most chatty, but he was pleasant enough. Thanked me when I said how much I enjoyed films. I'd only recently rewatched them on Blu-ray. I'd only recently rewatched them on Blu-ray. But yeah, this is the photo he signed for me. Next was Christian Nairn, who plays Hodor in Game of Thrones. Again, if you watch the series, you'll know who he is. He has a very nice Irish accent, which, considering he only ever says Hodor in Game of Thrones, was a bit of a shock. But he was a nice guy. We had a chat about the difference between this con and the American ones he's done, but although the American ones are crazier, this was starting to get a bit manic. But yeah, he's a nice guy, huge, great guy. This is me with him. And the photo he signed for me. Now to clear up the cryptic statements about Peter and Lena photo shoots. The reason is because I had a joint photo shoot with Peter Dinklage and Lena Headey. What was great about the shoot was that they were doing different poses for everyone, so it was nice and fun. Everybody was having a laugh watching what they were coming up with. I was about probably half of the way down the queue, maybe a bit further back, and Lena was clearly struggling to come up with things to do. I'm sure the pose that I did, I wasn't the only person to do, but Lena sort of copied what I was doing, and as you can see, Peter pulled a lovely face. I'm really pleased with the shot, although it is a bit dark, but I expect I can tamper with that if need be. But yeah, this is the shoot I had with them. And it was straight across the hall for another photo shoot, which was with Danny Glover. Quite possibly the worst face I've ever pulled in any photo shoot ever, but I couldn't, I mean, it's still me, so I didn't bother getting it redone. Again, a bit dark. It's strange with the different photographers, they have their different settings, but yeah, Danny was a different guy in the photo shoot though. Everybody was going, as he was going up, he was really up and hi and how are you? I don't know if he just had a cup of coffee or a Red Bull or something, but he seemed to have so much more energy in the photo shoot. He was almost like a different guy. But yeah, I knew there was no chance I would have got a photo with him without doing the photo shoot, which is why I pre-booked for the photo shoot. But yes, this is my hideous face with Danny Glover. Next, after that, was another Doctor Who companion, Lala Ward, who was married to Tom Baker after she left the series, and is now married to Richard Dawkins. Very nice lady. I met her years and years ago at my very first convention when I wasn't doing photographs. So I wanted to meet her again, so I had a photo with her, and this is the first opportunity I've had. She doesn't do many conventions, but yeah, very friendly. We had a little chat about my name and various spellings, which is something that often comes up. This is a photo she signed for me. And this is me with her. Next after Lala Ward was Ralph Brown. Ralph's been in lots of things, Alien 3, Phantom Menace, With Nail and I, Wayne's World 2, Boat That Rocked, Lock Stock, loads and loads. Really great actor, always gives a great performance. Was really looking forward to meeting him. He has done conventions before, but never ones I've been at, or on the right day, or I've always managed to miss him. A few times as I was walking around or as I was queuing for other people, I noticed when nobody was with him, he was just sort of sat staring blankly into the distance. But he seemed okay when people went up to him, and I went up and he said hi, and chose my photo, put it down. He said, "Is there anything in particular you want me to write on it?" And me thinking quote-wise, said, no, whatever you like. And then I thought, oh, but to Martin, he said, "Oh, so you don't want me to make it out to Pete then?" I said, "No, you better not." But, so he had a laugh about that. But then I said to him, you've done so many great things, what's your favourite thing? And he just sort of looked down at the picture of With Nail and I he was signing and just sort of gestured to it. He never even said With Nail, and that was it, conversation-wise. But he wrote a quote from a film on the autograph, and happy to pose for a photo. Don't think there's anything wrong with him. That's a bad phrase. I don't think he's rude or anything like that. I'm sure, as I say, he's done it before, so he obviously does like meeting people. But I just don't think he's the most chatty person. But yeah, pleased to have met him. This is the With Nail and I picture he signed for me with a quote from a film. And this is me with him. Next was Angela Bruce. Angela's been an actress for many years. She's probably first came to prominence in Angel. She's done Coronation Street. She's Doctor Who. She was in Battlefield. Red Dwarf. She was the alternative Lister in the female universe, in Parallel Universe, in Series 2. She, in Only Fools and Horses, she was the counsellor saved by Del Boy and Rodney dressed as Batman and Robin in that famous scene. She's done lots and lots and lots of things, as she kindly pointed out to the person who butted in front of me in the queue. As I was waiting, she was speaking to a couple, and did the business, shall we say. And then as I was going to approach, this guy who was stood next to her chatting to Shane Rimmer just sidled across and said to her, "Your face looks familiar." And she just sort of looked at him and she said, "Yeah." And she said, "What you been in then?" So she just reeled off all these loads of TV shows he's been in. Said, "Oh, what's your name?" So she looks up at the big board with her name written on it and said, "Still Angela Bruce." And said, "Oh, what was it?" "Still Angela Bruce." And she's looking at me and I'm laughing. And he's just rabbiting on and she's saying, "Well, do you want anything?" "Well, are you going to buy an autograph?" "No." "Well, I'll sort my mate out there because he wants to buy an autograph then," she says, gesturing to me. And he just sort of looks at me and looks back, and so she has to sort of say it again, and eventually he sides off. And she just, as I walk up to the table, she just leans forward and says, "Where were you when I needed you?" So we've just cracked up laughing. And as you can see, she's written that on the actual autograph. But yeah, really nice lady, really warm, friendly. Yeah, nice way to end the day meeting autograph-wise. I've got one more photo shoot, but this is the photo from Red Dwarf she signed for me. And this is me with her. Yeah, finally, with somebody I didn't get an autograph from, because I've already met her twice. Have had a photo shoot with her in the past, but it was when she was pregnant, so they were done, we were just sat on chairs next to each other, no touching, and so it's not the favourite of my photo shoot photos, and as it's somebody who I like a lot, I wanted to get a more intimate, shall we say, one, and a proper, arms round one. That's Eve Miles from Torchwood and small part in Doctor Who, and also she's now in a series called Frankie. but yeah, probably best quality shot certainly of the day, and I'm pleased with it, and I'm glad that I went for it. This is it. So that was it. Yeah, came home just in time to see the last game of the historic Wimbledon final. Well done, Andy. Next one will be, get this right because I keep checking, might be Cardiff. I've booked the weekend off, but at the moment there's nobody I need to meet there, which is a shame because for those of you who don't know, I went to university in Cardiff, so it'd be nice to go back there. So I'm hoping they suddenly pluck out a good name out of the bag who I want to go and see, even if it's just for a day. But more likely, the way things are going, will be the new winter London Film and Comic Con, which is start of October, and then there's Collect Money Milton Keynes again in November, both of which I'm off work for regardless, so I'm sure I shall be going to. Yeah, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Oh, a couple of people said hello to them. There's a guy who also said hello to me at Milton Keynes, and both times I should have asked your name, and I'm sorry I didn't. You know who you are. I saw you on Saturday this time, and in one of the photo queues at Milton Keynes. Next time, tell me your name. And the girl who was taking the money for Sarah Wayne Callies, who says she watches these and enjoys them. I think, if I'm putting two and two together rightly, you're Chloe from the forum, and if that's right, hello. If it's wrong, sorry, but hello anyway, and thank you for the kind words. Yeah, that really is it. Thanks to all the crew, etc., etc., which will be on the credits as usual. Follow me on Twitter. Address will be at the end. Go to my website, www.mpharris.co.uk. You can see all my autographs. Yeah, let's end this. Bye.